He'll make it for sure. That's why I backed him on Tap Touch.
You got the touch. You got the power. Got the touch? Choose Tap Touch. Better your bet. Download the app today.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
G'day everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Coast to Coast, proudly brought to you by Tap Touch. Super mega tough times on the weekend. Biggest loss to Freo in the club's history. Over 100 of the best. Didn't see it coming. With the form heading in, I know albeit Bombers and Roos, but we're not going to throw shade. The boys were in good touch. They looked all right. Some things were working out there and there was some gelling. And the first quarter, honestly, it took the young boy. He was up and about. And, those tears of glory soon turned to the real tears of sadness because after that mark of, 7 remaining in the first, all went upside down. Oscar Allen, I don't want to linger too long on this because...
Yeah, good intro.
I like you to be happy in this studio.
Yeah.
I don't want to have you face the firing squad within the first couple of minutes, but here we are. How was review?
Yeah. Hello, mate. How's your day been?
Oh, it's been a shocker.
Yeah.
But how you going?
No, well... Look, I didn't see it coming either. At the 10-minute mark of the first quarter, I thought this is going to be awesome. We're going to win. It's going to be a great night. And it turned pretty quickly. Conceded 17 in a row. Very, very disappointing. And I know North and Essendon, you can say, Essendon are a chance to play finals. Like Essendon and Freo aren't. So by the ladder and law of averages, theoretically, Essendon better side. And it is really disappointing.
When Dockers beat Cats, the alarm bells rang and been have they finally produced the form that many thought they were going to at the start of the year?
Yeah, they're a very, very good side. They've had an underwhelming year, as have we, but I'm sure they would have been expecting to be playing finals.
Who are they missing? Fife? Who else? There's one more.
Taberner hasn't played all year. He's a sore back.
There's one more I'm missing. Oh, Darcy.
Yeah, Sean Darcy.
Who else are they missing?
I'm not sure, but they are a really good side, and their midfield took it up to us and just knocked us over convincingly.
So the best chance of the reprieve, of course, is to front up the next week and give it a much better showing for both the club and the fans' point of view, and we all hope that's the case. Derby medal, I like what they've done with it in terms of they don't split it like they had to do. I can't remember what year. Should have done the research when Bunga had to share it with someone. Do you remember this?
No, I don't. It would have been 18 or 19.
Yeah, okay. And then they've made the rule that whoever gets the most 3 votes out of the vote tally. Yeah, so Schultz was the clear cut winner.
He was very good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had some good goals, that's for sure. Talk me through your recollections of the opening bounce because it was so funny. The little fella, Geordie Bandy, was walking around the stadium. He said, "Dad, I just want to watch the first bounce." I was like, "No worries. That won't take a minute." It took a few.
Yeah, it took 5 minutes.
Yeah. What was going on or what?
My recollection was looking at Alex Pearce and going, what is going on down there? And we was like, I don't know. And then the kerfuffle was happening at West Coast bench and not Freo's bench. And then I saw Hoffy stand up and I knew Hoffy'd been crook throughout the week. So I thought he must be still sick or something. I actually didn't know what was going on. I didn't know until the end of the game. And then all I heard was him going, you boys stuffed it up, didn't you? Wasting our time. I was like, yeah, fair enough. So I'm not too over what's happened, but obviously Hoffy didn't play and Jack Willow from eating a pie in the grandstand. He wasn't eating a pie in the grandstand, but from sitting in the players' box, apparently Fizzo ran out there and goes, "Jack Williams, where are you? You're playing." And then does a 5-minute warm-up and went out there and, came out and played.
You ever been in a situation like that where you've been in the players' box and someone's called from around you to come take the field?
No, I've heard stories of guys in the past, but never since I've been at the footy club.
Scully told a story on the Inside Swoop of Vard stitching him up, saying, "Mate, they're calling for you, quick, go."
Scully would have hated that too.
He laughed it off in the show, but if you know Scully,
he would have hated that.
He would have not spoken to Vards for a good month, I reckon.
Yeah.
So that was good humour.
Yeah.
Your injury, you're coming in here looking like the bionic man. That arm is doing a bit.
Yep.
You all good, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. I'll front up again. 2 weeks to go, 2 important weeks for the footy club, and we've spoken a little bit about the ending of one season often correlates to how you start the next. So I'm very keen, as well as a lot of other senior and younger players, on finishing this year off with a good run of form to propel us into a good off-season.
All right, that's good to hear because, honestly, the amount of tape that they had on the bench to just wrap you up, and then they reckon you've tried to go back out there. And Simo's had to be like, mate, look at the scoreboard, commendable, but I think we're done.
Yeah. Look, if I'm honest, like any injury now, because we've got 2 weeks to go, I'm worried they're going to rule me out. So I was like, this might be the last time I get to play this year, so I'm going back out there. So that's kind of my mindset. And that's kind of what I was thinking at the time. I was like, if I don't get to play again, I'm not finishing the bloody year on the bench. I'm getting back out there. And then Simo just looked at me and said, no, you're not.
Quality. You spoken to Coley about those ankles or what?
He's fine. Yeah, Tommy Cole's fine. He's just had a history of ankle complaints.
He just booted someone at the same time.
Yeah, I think he just jarred his ankle. So the big fella's going okay, which is what we'd love to hear.
Absolutely. Anything ankle related with Tom Cole gets me very nervous indeed. Mm-hmm. What about Petch and his tonsillitis? How late in the piece? Like, did he do captain's run the day prior?
Yeah, he trained the day prior. I think we got a message maybe as I was driving to the ground saying, just in the forward line, just saying, hey, fellas, heads up, don't think Petch is going to play. And then
on the way to the ground.
On the way to the ground. So then I thought Jack Williams was going to play there. Evidently enough, he does play that night because someone else was put out late too. So it was a bit of a Ripley's all sorts on the bench on the end of the change rooms. But look, that's the nature of it. Just keep rolling with the punches.
The greedy point of view from Thumper was, oh man, this is really hurting my Sunday waffle side that I get to call.
more guys you don't know their names on the waffle.
I just wanted a real competitive performance in terms of more AFL boys that are coming. I saw Luke Foley on the park. It's like, not good. What's happened?
Yeah, he's supposed to be playing tomorrow.
Correct. And then you got Jack Williams. I'm like, oh no, we're in some strife. And Jamo was crook as well. So they all went down like flies. But with that in mind, they put in such a great showing against, it has to be said, a far superior waffle team in Subiaco, who have got something like 18 or 19 premiership players run around out there.
Yeah, it was impressive. And
you go down there?
I did. Yeah, I was down there. I was sitting with... How's the crew I was sitting with? It was like Luke Shuey, Shannon Hearn, myself. Pick the odd banana out there.
So
I think it's
good.
not that hard to find.
This is on a Sunday, midday after the game. I love it. I love it so much.
It was great. There was heaps of the boys were there. It's probably something we've been focusing on the last couple of weeks and need to continue to get better at. But I think Jordan Baker, I don't think we've mentioned him on the podcast this year, is a young Cat B rookie. He is improved exponentially this year. Like, he's actually showing a hell of a lot that he's going to hopefully one day make it as a footballer, really. He's showing a heap. I think Izzy Winder, since his return, has been playing well. Greg Clark, Zane True.
I was going to bring up Winder. So Clarkey, mate, I mean, he didn't play the last quarter. That's a funny enough story as it is.
Because he played the last quarter the night before.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So I didn't know if he'd front up again. Because you got to do a bit to prepare for a match, albeit he was always going in as the sub, correct?
Yeah.
So you've got to carb load and sort of do everything. What if
someone rolls their ankle a minute into the game? Like, you play a full game.
So I'm surprised that they rolled him out the next day, but I'm absolutely rapt he did. And his second quarter, I think he had 11 touches. He was on one, and I think they put him in mothballs for the last term.
Rumour has it is Clarkie's finished the game, and someone's come to him like, mate, you're playing again tomorrow. Like, you only played 15, 20 minutes. Like, you're playing again tomorrow. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, called his missus, like, babe, get the pasta back on. We're going again. Get it going. We're coming back. And then if you know Greg, like, very, very funny. Like, the big fella's just loading up to get out there again the next day.
That's so good. I love how Izzy Winder looks behind the ball.
He does look good, hey?
It's a move that they made for 3 weeks ago, and he spent his 3 weeks. I think the only waffle 3 weeks he's had has been playing in the defensive half. And I don't know if it's a little bit of a byproduct for the ball being back there quite a bit, that he's getting more sort of opportunity, but he knows when to pick his run and dash to collect and go. He can read it pretty well behind the ball.
He can, yeah.
And Izzy Winder's playing for a contract, it's got to be said. So I wonder if the club want to go down there and say, look, have we found a role from him? Because JJ's done it. I don't think JJ's position was in jeopardy, but JJ's found a new lease on life down in the almost exact same role. Watch this space of what they do with Izzy Winder. Will be very interesting. Nic Nat.
Yeah, Nic Nat.
Hung him up.
The big fella.
We touch on that a little bit later. We've already spoken to Witho. Tremendous guest.
Yeah, good guest.
Great for him to step up. What's going to be your most fond memories of the big fella around the club?
Oh, around the club, like, he's Nic Nat. Everyone knows who he is, but he's a very relaxed, easygoing guy. He does a lot, not only for the footy club, but the general WA Perth community with his Naitanui Academy, a real trailblazer. On field, I reckon my first game against JBS, he took an awesome hang, and I was like, oh my God, I'm playing with Nic Nat. Like,
it's happening.
Yeah, it's as a kid growing up as a West Coast fan, it's just perplexing when you're out there and Nic Nat, he's a massive man, but he makes you feel like you're a big man too when he's next to you. Yeah, gonna miss him dearly. It's unfortunate. I saw something the other day. 2-time best and fairest winner. Just played 6 games after he won that last BNF. So, unfortunately for him,
the end came quick, didn't it?
It did come quick, and you're always hoping you have more footy with these guys. Same with Bunga, same with Boots, but Nick obviously not going to get a send-off game. Just wish the best for him, and I think he's probably come to terms with it, and it's going to come at the right time for him and his family. They're welcoming in another kid, which is great for him and his partner Britt. So yeah, good on him.
What do you think he's going to do?
He can do whatever he wants.
That's what I mean.
Like Nick could actually do it. He could be a commentator.
He could be a massive
entrepreneur, business owner. He's got his drink that he's coming out.
Yeah, he spoke about the drink on the podcast with us, and then spoke about how he wanted to get a cartoon series up and running. So the world's his oyster.
He's an author, the big fella. He does everything, and any business, any company would be throwing themselves at Nic Nat to get him in the doors to do anything really.
Is Scully shaking in his boots for a bit of boundary riding, you reckon?
Nah, I don't think Nick has the desire to do it. Like, Nick's not going to like pre-game meetings, rocking up to games hours early, and like he's not
grinding.
Yeah, nah, God no. And that's with all due respect to Big Yakka.
He's lost that microphone too. Absolute ball terror. So we've put the microphone on him to give his speech to the players to be released later in time. And he's just kept it on him the whole day. And we knew, we're like, he'll come back.
Have you just recorded all of his conversations throughout the day?
I'm going to bribe him for a bit of money with some of the discussions he's had behind closed doors.
Maybe he might need to do something post-footy, the big fella.
So then he's at home on the couch and he's feeling this microphone on him. And he's like, oh, that's right. He can't find it now. So killing it.
That's Nick all over, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Very laid back.
All right. We ready to get stuck into Witho?
Yep. Let's welcome Alex to the studio.
Excellent.
He'll make it for sure. That's why I backed him on Tap Touch.
You got the touch, you got the power. Got the touch? Choose Tap Touch. Better your bet. Download the app today.
We're back after that very short break, thanks to Tab Touch. Alex Witherden joins us in the studio now. You've been, you've been on a tear. You got to go on one of your favourite podcasts of all time this year, Back Chat.
Yeah.
But you really just you the bed a little bit on that one. So a big long-time fan, you would have built it up being like, oh, I can't wait to be on one of my favourite podcasts. And it didn't quite come to fruition, mate. What happened on that one?
Yeah, I had a coughing fit about 10 minutes in, and being a 50-minute podcast, it was pretty hard to overcome in that time.
What'd you have to do?
We took a few little intermittent breaks. I drank a lot of water, and I embarrassed myself for 20 minutes just coughing into the mic.
Wait, sorry, I don't know about this. So you went on Scully's Back Chat?
Yep.
And is the episode out?
The episode's out, yeah.
Have you listened back to it?
I don't like listening to myself talk, so it was hard to do, but I did skip to the bit where I knew I was coughing, and it gave me the ick. Just sitting there listening to it,
You could just hear it was always there. You just wanted to clear it all the time. Felt for the man.
Or it sounded like I was talking without breathing. So because I knew if I took a breath, I was going to cough. So I was really forcing my words out by the end.
What do you listen to otherwise? Back Chat aside, you listening to us?
Not really, no.
Yeah, fair call. Yeah, it's funny response we get from pretty much everyone in the phone group, isn't it?
What do you listen to though?
I listen to like Dylan Friends, a bit of Howie Games.
Just the better versions of us.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of the boys in, so I see them every day. So I like listening to different stories.
Yeah, it's the guests. It's not us. It's
the
not
guest.
us.
It's not you guys. It's the guests.
That makes a ton of sense.
But yeah, Hamish and Andy, that sort of stuff.
Do you listen to much of your man, David Goggins?
I have listened to a David Goggins 3-hour-long podcast before. Yeah. I think that was Joe Rogan, maybe.
Yeah, that's
why is he your man? Are you on his fitness regime, are you?
Well,
good story.
Yeah, last off-season, obviously we finished the year, had shoulder surgery, just got out of hospital, was looking for a bit of motivation, read the Goggins book, and it just became like a running joke that I was David Goggins in the off season because I went pretty hard. And
is this part of being the running club that you?
Yeah, joined a running club.
Who was that? Who was in that?
Peter Bowl wasn't he?
Nah, Peter Bowl wasn't part of the group that I ran with, but he runs with a lot of the runners that I was running with.
This isn't with teammates. This is just random. Hey, you going? Nice to meet you. I'm Alex. Can we run together?
No, it's they're like semi-professional runners, so they do competitions on the weekend, and they're like a little team within a team. It's actually a little company called Front Runner, so shout out. Good company if you're looking to go and improve your running skills.
Have you run your absolute face off this year? Has it proven to have worked?
Yeah, it's made a huge difference. So I did that. Obviously, the club put in Kof, who's no longer here, put in a really good program, so that helped as well. I went up to Athletic Institute. What suburb's that in?
Yeah, it's the head S&C West Perth runs it. So a lot.
You've given him shout outs here.
Yeah, so a lot of the boys because Westies obviously comes from there, and then because of that Greg and then a couple of other boys, Rothy and all the fellas have started using him throughout the off season. So he runs a pretty tight ship there as well.
Yeah, so that's Corey Green.
Yeah,
but went up there and did a fair bit of stuff as well. So I was just able to get pretty fit and came back and absolutely smashed my PB out of the park. So the boys were just taking the mickey a bit, calling me David Goggins, but I ran with it. And a few other boys went Goggins mode as well.
How many chin-ups are you up to per day now?
Yeah, I'm probably not David Goggins in the gym.
Running Goggins.
Running Goggins, yeah.
But not understating it. So I was thinking I was doing a little bit extra because I had a bit of off-season surgery and we went to Europe together at the end of last year. So we had a couple Beveraginos on that trip. So we thought, we'll come back and we'll get ourselves ready to go. And I was doing hot Pilates and that was my extra and I was doing it twice a week. And Wither was also doing that with me, but he'd often go 3 times a week and do this extra running club. So he was going psycho for a bit. But as you mentioned, you came back and it was never a strength. You've always been a good game day runner, I think. But time trial runner is just a very different thing. Being able to go and smack a 2K and then probably what would have come top 10 in the club easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. From someone who was pretty well middle of the pack. So, it was a big off-season for the big fella.
Sounds well worthwhile. Speaking of elite runners, you last time in here were with Gaffy. Bit of hand-holding. Are you sure you're going to be all right going hard solo today?
Absolutely, yeah. Don't need him, mate.
I think it was the other way around, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gaffy needed a hand.
Yeah.
Well, in the year of just absolute medical mayhem, you've been an absolute shining light of durability.
Yeah,
two to go. We can almost celebrate it, but just missed the one game.
Yep.
You've got to be proud of how the body is held up.
Yeah, no, it's good. As I said, I think it sort of stemmed from that off season. The club put in a really good program, and then I was just able to have really good durability throughout the pre-season, which helps. Sets you up for a good year, and touch wood, I can stay fit for these last 2 games, but I've only missed the one, and that's when I got slept in the derby in round 3.
Let's touch on that very briefly then. That was one of the gutsier plays of the year, going back into the unknown. I think Foles did it on the weekend and got up a lot quicker than what you did. He didn't have to turn the body. He had back protection.
Yep.
Who was it, O'Meara, that sorted you out?
Yep.
What were the ramifications of that mentally and physically? So obviously, it happens so many times within a game. I reckon a lot of players do it, and because the outcome, I reckon I've done that, 10, 15 times in my career, but haven't had the outcome, so it probably doesn't get highlighted. You might just get across and get a hand in and get a pat on the bum by a teammate. Oscar does that sort of stuff every week. It's 2 defenders coming from the side and he flies across the front. So a lot of players do it. So I don't think it was anything super special, but it was just the result of it. He got me in the ribs, so I had some pretty sore ribs for probably 6 weeks there. And I got a nasty concussion, but I was lucky that I was sort of able to bounce back pretty quick. I realised when I was on the ground, I couldn't breathe for probably 45 seconds. It's the scariest part for me is the winding and the panic of when am I going to breathe next?
I probably was out for 2 or 3 seconds and then woke up, couldn't breathe, and I was trying to breathe, and then as I was
sounds like a lot of fun.
As I was coming off the ground, the boys still take the piss a little bit, but as I was coming off the ground, I something clicked in my head. When it all started coming back together, I was like, I can't get subbed out here. Gov's already out, Shuey's already out. Can't get subbed out. I've got to keep playing. We've got to win this game, and got 10 metres from the bench, and I was like, I can't get carried off by the trainers. So if you get the footage, I've shooed the trainers away, and then I've just been walked off the whole, because I was on the far wing, I've just been walked off the whole length of the field, and then I've shooed him away 10 metres from the bench and then jogged off. And then told the doctors I just got badly winded. And then, unfortunately, the vision had me snoring on the ground, so I was out for the rest of that game and the next week.
It's pretty harsh you taking the mickey out of him for that, boys.
No, it was pretty funny. Like, you'll find the vision, he's like walking off like this, and he's genuinely like pushing him off and like, all right, let's go. Just running off. And I remember being on the bench like, what's happening right now? And his man's already gone on because he's like being knocked out. So like they were allowed the interchange.
Yeah.
The funny thing was not funny, but afterwards, so obviously concussion, big issue. But for the next 4 weeks, all you were saying is, God, my ribs are sore. Like that was the thing that was really hard to play with the next 6 or so weeks.
Yeah. My ribs were pretty well cooked for a couple of weeks there. Like just getting my arm up and like at training, any sort of contact would tickle them. Come game day, I was okay because you get adrenaline and all that sort of stuff. But
Any cracks in there, you reckon, with it?
no, I don't think so. Like sometimes if you just get bruised ribs, it's almost
Worse.
It's almost worse. Yeah.
Do you put any padding there? I'm sure it does nothing when contact hits, but for mental well-being, did you put something there?
No, I don't. I don't like. I like playing as naturally as I can. So last year I had my shoulder and I had my shoulder taped, and I just found like it irritated me. So I ended up just not getting it taped for the rest of the year and just whatever. So I like to play with as little tape as possible on me.
Real proud achievement, knocking over 100 games against the Bombers. Not the outcome we wanted, but did you reflect on that at any stage, either prior, during, leading up? A good tick off in terms of the career milestone.
Yeah, it is. It's something that I'm really proud of, actually. For some players, it's just something they tick off so easily, and then other players, it's something they've got to work really hard to achieve. And I feel like, my career started pretty smooth sailing for the first year or two there, but since then I've had to work really hard to earn every game and to continue my career. So to be able to get to 100 games is a massive achievement for me, but I'm not content, still wanting to play a lot more. And at the end of the day, like one of my old teammates, Clay Beams, always said, don't count your games, make your games count. So
Like it.
Give me that.
there's no point playing 100 if you're going to play 100 crap ones. So just play as many good ones as you can, and that's what you'll be remembered for, more than how many games you actually play. And I think Nic's just retired. He's probably a good example. He played 210 or whatever he played, but I reckon 180 of them would have been pretty good. So he'll be remembered as, like a 300 game player, 350 game player in people's minds.
What I was most thankful of was the game against the Roos on 99 games. You've pulled out 2 or 3 of your career best moves to just slide into your sweet little milestone video. So you sold some monster candy on the wing, saving goal spoils on the line. I was like, mate, he knew that a video needed to be made in less than 48 hours, and he's delivered for me.
Yeah, no, thanks for putting that video together. It was really appreciated.
The question for you, Thumper, so obviously with those first 59 games at Brizzy, how did you go about deciphering West Coast and Brizzy videos? Because the first, say it's a 2.5 minute video, the first 2 minutes were all West Coast, and then you put him kicking a banana from 45 from Brizzy, and that was it.
I didn't know whether someone like Simo or an assistant coach would tap me on the shoulder and say, mate, you don't put any of a previous club highlights in a highlight video. I had to go and check, hey, can I put a couple of Brizzy?
You actually had to ask that question?
Well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to rather than get
Who'd you check with?
Simo was in the lunchroom making a coffee. I was like, you can do it. Go. Just go talk to him. Just go clear it off. It's fine. We've been here 15 years.
And what did he say?
He was like, man, I don't care. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
He would have hated it.
I think that's just the least of his worries. You're playing that up in your head.
Nah, trust me, I've been clipped for so much worse things than that. So I just wanted to make sure someone greenlit it and was like, it's fine to have that in there. Because I remember Josh Hill. I got told when Hilly played a milestone, I was like, mate, don't put his Bulldogs goals in there. What are you doing?
Yeah,
I was like, all good.
That's when the boys used to be top 4. It was the little things that mattered. At the moment, we've got a lot going on.
Big rocks, mate, not little rocks.
Yeah. Well said. All right, we had you were speaking of the big fella. He called time on the career yesterday. I got a few questions for you boys. So that's 3 on the trot now, 3 weeks in a row. 3 club legends have bid farewell. How did you find the retirement speeches to players? Who wore it best? How were the emotions for all 3?
Bloody heavy Mondays at the moment. Like every Monday coming in, and I think we were joking the other day, if you include Kenners from last year, 4 of our top 10 players in the history of the football club have now left, so leaves a pretty big gap. All like senior leaders, our last 2 captains of the footy club, so there's definitely big shoes to be filled. But I think, without being disrespectful to the others, Nick's yesterday was like the best retirement speech I've ever seen, because it had a mixture of, like, he's a pretty closed off guy, Nic Nat, in a way. Like, he's great around the fellas, but he's had a bloody tough life, but he keeps that on the back burner. Like, he doesn't talk to you about that just because of the nature of who he is. So he brought up some of that stuff that, like, I've known him for 7 years and he hasn't said any of that stuff ever. And then would come out with the funniest jokes ever 10 seconds later. So it was a really good contrast. Bunga was very just like down the line, Shannon Hearn, just thanking Pritter for some reason, just saying like, Pritter had a great career. It's like, mate, we're talking about your retirement.
Bunga was just deflecting off himself as much as he could, like he always has.
Yeah. And then Boots was probably a mix between the two. Like some of them, I suppose, without being disrespectful, some guys you probably think, they might be coming to an end. So I found Boots as one pretty difficult because I thought he might go another year, whereas the other two I was kind of thought, their time might be about up to be called. So that hit me pretty hard.
Was Nick the least emotional of the 3?
Probably, yeah.
I reckon he was almost the most with some of the stuff he was saying about.
Yeah, he had his moments. Mate, they were all pretty good. Like, they held it together well. Were you in the Nick one?
No, that's the only one I haven't seen. Fans will get a chance to see the best parts of this, by the way. We're just slowly going to leak them out.
Nick's was exceptional. Like, the other boys did a cracking job, but Nick's is, as Ozzy said, the best I've ever seen. Like, had us all in stitches. A lot of inside jokes though, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, people watching will get
Not sure how many people will resonate with them, but I mean, a lot of the fans probably know more about the club than we do, so they'll probably be able to resonate more than I think.
I'll ask you what some of your best memories are of Nic Nat, but him dropping in the press conference that his uncle is Vulcan from Gladiators. I don't know if you guys are a bit too young to remember the sensation that was Sunday night Gladiators on TV. Vulcan was the man. And he's dropped that he was picking him up from school. I was like, I don't know that. That was amazing stories.
No, I don't know. I don't know this. Tell me.
That's all he said. He said, Vulcan's my uncle.
Yeah, that's shocking. I didn't watch Gladiators. Grew up with Foxtel, must be nice. So didn't watch a lot of didn't watch a lot of free to wear.
I reckon it was on around Man Oh Man. Did you ever know what that show was?
No, I think you're going too deep for it. I don't think we were.
The concept of Man Oh Man was 10 blokes were pitching to like be the date for a woman. And they'd do talent shows and
that sounds like the worst.
Then the gimmick was they'd line up on a pool, and the way they got eliminated is they'd have a model come past and
push them in the pool,
and they'd either push you in the pool or not.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Right.
That's how he survived. Yeah.
Nick says a lot of crazy things like that sometimes. Like he'll just because Nic Nat is Nic Nat. Like he's a genuine celebrity. Like I don't know many AFL players who he could go anywhere in the world almost, and people would look at Nic Nat and be like, that guy is probably famous, just like the way he carries himself. And
we were talking about So to that point, like Nick just has so many stories and knows so many people. And I don't know if this is speaking out of school, but you can cut it if I am. But we were talking about a DJ the other day, Joel Fletcher. Like, you know Joel Fletcher? Aussie DJ, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were just talking about in the change room and Nick just like pipes up across the room going, oh, he's pretty loose. And we're like, oh yeah. How do you know him? And he goes, oh yeah, he's a massive Collingwood fan. Like, we made a bet like before the grand final, like whoever wins has to get a tattoo or something. So now he's got like a massive eagle on his chest. And I was like, what? Yeah. Like he's just got like all these little stories about with all these famous people, and he's just he knows everyone.
Like you'll be like, oh, just talking about some like ridiculous celebrity in America, say like LeBron. It's like, oh yeah, when I did my knee, like I met him on 4th of July party, like it was a good night. I was like, sorry, you're not just going to skim past, like, what do you mean? He's like, oh yeah, like, I met Kanye there and Kim Kardashian was there as well, but like, she had her groups there a bit, and he's just going through like listing off the biggest like A-list celebrities you could ever imagine. Yeah. And Nic Nat, I reckon, is one of the only blokes I'll ever meet that just is like on their level in terms of everyday life, particularly here in Australia.
I'd never met Nick before, and I did the grand final footy show in 2018.
Did you do a song and dance?
I did.
Just a dance.
Actually, no, just a dance. Yeah, 2019, sorry, it was. And was Nick fit that year, or was he coming off his ACL?
He played the back half that year.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, and we were at the after party for the grand final footy show. Like, it was just people that performed in the show, and
What'd you perform?
Old Town Road.
Find the footage.
I'll have to.
Yeah, I
Good kids.
yeah, like full cowboy kits, but we're just like standing there, like in the back, like head nodding, and Mitch Robertson was the star of our show. Surprise, surprise!
Yeah.
But we had our after party, and it was just like players that were there, and TV personalities that were there. And anyway, Nick walks in, and everyone sort of stops and turns, and he has a posse of about 20 just follow him in, like all his mates, like. And then he sits down, like someone goes and gets him a drink, and like it's impossible for anyone to get to him because they're all just like sitting around surrounding him. So that was the first time I saw a footballer look like a proper celebrity.
Saw Cuzzy came along to the press conference. Didn't see him at the other two.
The great man.
Yeah, played with Bunga, but go along to Nick's.
Well, I think the big thing popped up when Nick was in the AIS, right? And he came and trained here with Cuzzy, and then Cuzzy obviously left during that period, and then Nick was the big number 9 replacement. And Lawns actually asked me last night, who's going to get number 9 next? And it's going to be a big shoes to fill because 2 people I can only ever recall wearing number 9. I know way back when, but in my lifetime, Ben Cousins and Nic Naitanui. So heavy weight on the shoulders, whoever has to put that jumper on next year.
Yeah. I mean...
What's your tip?
You want it?
Nah. I mean... we're going to win our last 2 games, so we won't have the number 1 pick. But whoever our first pick is, sounds like it's going to be a pretty good player. So
Wouldn't retire any of those numbers for a year?
I reckon 25.
25 in the rafters?
25 would probably get retired for a year or so.
I reckon if you do one, you do all of them.
Yeah.
For a year?
Potentially.
Yeah.
So what does the top pick get? What's left?
You can have Ken as 17 because he's been retired for a year potentially, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably all deserve to be retired, really. They're club icons, club greats.
2 get retired and 1 doesn't.
Yeah.
Was not a fan of Nic Nat's opening line of the presser. He's ragged the tune that got played with his video, bit of P. Diddy, Be Missing You. He's requested that tune. So
That is such a Nick thing to do.
Oh, it is. So he's like, get me that song. And the editors are like, mate, are we really going to make this work?
Yeah.
Done it. And then he's potted it in the opening line. I'm like, oh, Nick, you're too good.
That was part of his game.
Yeah.
Teed it up.
Would you rather, I'm going to throw this at you, Witho, would you have rathered, at his stage of his career, his torn Achilles or the broken leg he got that Tim Taranto delivered?
Broken leg. I think I'm not sure if people understand, but a torn Achilles is a massive rehab thing. Like it's 12 months, and with no guarantee that at that age, especially that you're going to ever be the same player and have the same power, and then you probably got the fear of acceleration and taking off and it happening again. Whereas a broken leg, as much as it's sucked and whatever, it
was meant to be this monster broken leg, though, wasn't it?
It was a monster broken leg.
Yeah.
So, but it's probably a more 6 to 8 month thing compared to 12 months.
Yeah, every time you're taking a step with a torn Achilles, you're thinking, is this going to snap again? That's what I assume as soon as you get out of the moon boot. So, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I think that's par with ACL is the two.
It's almost worse.
Yeah, probably worse.
Can we have a real brief chat about the Matildas game on Saturday night and how that all played out in terms of you boys heading out, warming up, coming out of the Eagle Head while it was still playing? So it seems like Optus Stadium were kind of adapting on the fly as to how they were.
Good job.
Yeah, I thought they did a great job.
They did in the end, because you have a look at some efforts, the Gabba didn't put it on the Oval after the game when they're all doing kick to kicks. They didn't have it on the big screen, but they had it on little mini screens around the ground.
Okay, yep.
And then the MCG shut it down with 40 minutes left in the pre-game. 40 minutes to bounce, and they shut it right off the screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my mates were at because they're Melbourne supporters, and they were at the G, and they reckon half the stands were empty because everyone was in the sports bars around the G just watching the Matildas. So I'm not sure that's what the AFL would have wanted.
Well, the interesting part around the Optus one was that we were going for a penalty to save the game at the same moment that Freo ran out, and they cut off the big screen at the moment where we're like, oh my God. And then the crowd has booed And like you know,
Wouldn't have anything to do with the Freo players right now. I was
this is
booing.
what I mean. Like, it's an Eagles home game. Like, the people upstairs, Kojo Productions, were like, well, are they booing because it's Freo? Are they booing because we just took it off? We're going to say the latter. So then it's come back and it's still going. So we're like, oh, we made the penalty. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
right.
still live.
Yeah.
And then when you guys ran out, they didn't switch it on the big screen. And we're like, right, now they're really adapting on the fly.
Yeah. So in a warm up, we have a kick to kick, in partner kick for maybe 45 seconds to a minute, and then we break off into our lines. And our line has a massive focus of switching on and like doing our 3 or 4 minutes as a line, like with intensity, like focusing in, dialing in, because we feel like when we do that well, we play well. So I was doing my best to not look at the big screen, and our line coach is there, and I could see him just watching us to see whether we're dialed in or whether we're watching at the big screen. So I didn't really look at the big screen, and I was trying to get others not to as well. But whenever there was a loud roar, you just saw everyone's head just swivel straight up to the big screen.
It's funny the difference between a forward and a back, because you guys are doing like, I'm doing goal kicks, so I'm just standing at the top of my mark, staring at the big screen for like a minute, and then just like snapping one over my shoulder and continuously doing that. But like, because we had the minutes of silence for the police.
That was the part that they were most nervous about, because in the end they would have had to, regardless, turn it off to go to a minute silence. And you could imagine what the crowd uproar was. Would have been pretty disrespectful to have booing leading into a memorial minute silence.
Yeah,
But
and that speaks to the difference between forwards and backs. You know, they can just sit there and do whatever
Stuff
they want
around.
because they know if they're not switched on in the first 5 minutes, they can't look like an idiot out there. Whereas if we're not switched on, we're bloody getting dragged, or we're costing us goals, or bloody Sophie Toll from Dandenong's messaging you on Instagram. So, whereas a forward, you just got to turn up and kick your 2 goals like Oscar's done all year, and you've had a good day.
I can attest to that, because when I went back, it was very different. When I was up forward, my mentality was squeaky bum time.
After your duties here this afternoon, Witho, you're going to Christchurch, PSA land, doing a bit of coaching. Can you tell us how that's going down?
Yeah, good. I'm actually really enjoying it. Started at the latter part of last season. So Rob Wiley's a previous Christchurch coach down there, and Tex Perkins, who's at one of our physios, does a bit of work. So they got me in the door, and just go down there on a Tuesday afternoon after training, kick a few footies in, try and pass on a bit of knowledge that I've learnt over my time in the system, and then on game day I get down whenever I can to just help. Give a helping hand.
Surely the injection of a veteran AFL player into this program has risen them to great heights within the competition.
They'd be winning it this year, wouldn't they?
Not quite. 3 and 8.
Sorry, that's 3 wins.
3 wins, 8 losses.
Right. What are you doing down there?
Mate, first rule of coaching, you can only deal with the players you've got.
Yeah. I mean, I've only made it to 1 game day this year,
Did you win it?
and we won by a point. And that we've played that same team, and I wasn't there, and we lost by 50. So
50.
You tell me the difference.
51-point turnaround. But no, it's a pretty good competition, pretty high level, and there's pretty high level of coaching throughout the competition. So there's a lot of previous ex-AFL players within the other schools. So I don't think referring to me as a veteran is quite right at this stage, and there's a lot more experienced guys down there, probably on a more full-time basis, but Christchurch do a really good job, and Declan down there is doing a really good job.
You don't need to tell me, mate. Only the best can win an Alco Cup. Righto. As you can see, Witho is dressed in different kit.
Yeah.
What happened there?
No, sorry, we had a team meeting, but we're back.
Okay.
We are back.
Feel good?
No, but we're back.
Well, how did you go on the team meeting? Rate your performance out of 10.
It wasn't a team meeting, it was just a line meeting.
Rate your performance.
Well, I just didn't say a thing, so I just stood in there, and I mean, I didn't have any negative clips, so that's a positive.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Didn't have many positive ones either, though. So
About a 5 then.
yeah.
Fan question time.
Yeah.
Oz, why don't you open the bowling for a change?
All right. We've got one from Kaylin_Lamb, and this is a topical discussion because you, myself, and Andrew Gaff, we're a bit of a threesome. We like to talk about all things sports, and I'm the representative of WA in the group chat.
Correct.
We talk a lot about the cricket. I'm WA biased.
Yep.
A question for you, Queensland or WA? Because obviously you're from Victoria, but you spend a lot of time in Queensland.
So I grew up in Geelong, 18 years, spent 4 years in Brizzy, and then I've had 3 years here. God.
Did you meet
Could
your
upset a
missus?
lot of people here.
Yeah.
Better half in Queensland or from Queensland, right?
Yeah.
We'll just try and put that on the back burner. Don't let
Yeah.
that sway.
I think WA, because in Perth you're closer to the beach. Like in Brisbane where I was, it wasn't quite near the beach. But I think I'll probably end up back in Queensland eventually, more so because that's where my partner's from.
How do you feel about that? Not home and not in a better place. You're going for the bronze medal of your existence.
Well, home, it's closer to home, so it's easier for my family. Her family's there, and we've got a lot of friends there, and she's got a lot of friends there. So, yeah, but pretty lucky to have lived in 3 great places.
Tommy Cole, why do they call you Picasso?
That's just it's just a little inside joke between the boys.
No comment.
I don't want to go into it.
All right. Well said.
All right, I've got one from the _J_Jaden. Why did Ben Sokol punch you in the jaw at Optus last year?
I was lipping him about something.
Big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he was like telling me I was no good.
And you've come out and played 21 games this year.
I was just laughing because I don't remember him ever being on an AFL field ever.
No.
So that was pretty easy to get back into him.
Low hanging fruit there.
Fluffy Simba 101, who is your favourite teammate? Don't name a Brizzy Lion player.
Teammate is in person, like mate, or is in to play with?
No, not to play with, because I reckon that's to come. So just,
Yep.
favourite hang.
Favourite hang. Aussie be up there at West Coast. Probably Roth. Yeah.
Roth was good, light-hearted fun.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll go, who's your favourite teammate to play with?
Georgie Lindsay asked that one.
So I'll go one at each club. Hodgie at Brisbane.
King.
Learnt so much off him. Was a young fella, learning my craft, and he taught me so much. And a lot of like one of my strengths I feel is being able to use my brain and communicate and help others on the field, and I learned a lot of that from him. And then there's probably another absolute icon of the game in Shannon Hearn at West Coast. Very, very similar in his ability to teach younger players and make other players better. And pretty lucky to have played with 2 of the absolute greats of the game.
Fair duo there.
Emma Roberts 3, favourite memory other than the Derby. Favourite memory other than your debut. Let's not
Derby.
go back to the Derby.
Yeah, I was like, Derby, hang on. Favourite memory other than debut? God.
What about your little give around the back, and I'll send one from 50 deep?
Yeah, that was good personally, but I'm trying to think team-wise. Like the win we had against Collingwood last year down at Marvel in round 4 was pretty special because we had maybe 12 of our best players out. They were going pretty well, and everything went right, and we just played out of our skin that day. We were able to win. Collingwood finished second, and we obviously won 2 games for the year, so that was a pretty good game. In 2021, my debut for West Coast against Collingwood on a Friday night was pretty cool. 55,000, so I hadn't played in a home game with that many people because obviously the Gabba doesn't have that many seats. That was pretty cool. Watch Aussie kick 5, JD kick 5, so that was a pretty cool night. Yeah.
Going to the Gabba away change rooms yet since you've been playing for West Coast?
Yeah,
and how much
times.
of a debacle that is?
Oh, they're shocking. Like, no wonder the Gabba's getting dozed.
Is that the mental wins against the Lions? Have been like, boys, look what they're dealing with over there. They're a rabble.
Yeah,
you can see
has
the
it ever
pipes
been
in
mentioned?
you can see the pipes in the roof. What a disgrace!
Nah, because you can see the pipes in the roof in the home team. So that's the thing. Like when I was at the Lions, I don't know if we touched on this last time, but the players area, the gym, like that whole little football department area just smelled like sewage, like 90% of the time. Like we would walk in there and I just became accustomed to it. But you'd come back after the break or you'd have a few days away and you'd realise how bad it smelled, but you just became used to it.
Very good.
All right, I've got one. What would you do if you weren't an AFL player, from Zoe Anderson? And what are you doing now away from footy?
I think I'd just be a house husband.
House husband? Let Grace run the ship?
Grace can go get that bread.
Investment banker?
Yeah, she's
No problem.
she's doing pretty well for herself.
Can't pick him.
She's a really hard worker. She is committed to her job, so she's doing well. But what would I do if I wasn't a footballer? I'm not really sure because I don't know what I'm going to do after footy yet. But
What about a curator? Go look after some grounds. Prepare some pictures. Doctor some pictures.
yeah, that would be cool.
Get
But
in the way Christchurch would win a game there, that's for sure.
yeah, maybe somewhere in like the finance sort of section somewhere. I'm not sure where. Maybe in consulting somewhere. No one really can explain to me 100% what consulting is, but
It's always a good start.
yeah, but it sounds like there's a bit of everything in it, a bit of relationships, a bit of people skills, a bit of decision making. So yeah, that something like that might interest me.
Go talk to Tommy Cole. Buy low, sell high at ASX.
Yeah.
He's got all the tips for you.
Coley does.
No, I remember he wrote that on his Twitter page.
Buy low, sell high. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He went through a rogue 10-day patch there, didn't he?
We love discussing it.
We did bring this up last week.
Yeah.
Thumperlicious, worth a follow. Who are you recruiting from the club for the next National Lampoon's European vacation? So who have you seen? What have you liked the look of from maybe some of the young crop?
So outside of the group that went last year,
Clearly.
yeah. So a refresher last year, it was myself, Oz, X,
Harry Edwards.
Roth, Jacko, and Jake. Yep.
Yep.
So that was 7 of us. Who do I like? I think out of the young boys, Noah Long would be,
Yeah, Donkey.
yep,
He'd be
like a
good.
clear favourite. Just easygoing, always got a smile on his face, brings a bit of energy. Who else?
No European vacation this year, Oz.
Nah.
You'll be lucky to get out the front door.
I'll be there.
Yeah, Widow's going back, but not me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just a couples one this time?
Yeah, yep. Just Grace and I off to Italy for 3 weeks, which would be good. So
Decent. Bit of a different vibe on the trip in terms of
yeah, I
the
dare
demand,
say,
potentially.
I'll come back a bit more well rested this year, which would be nice.
Very good. Well, I reckon that brings us to the end. Oz, you got anything to offer up?
Talk to us about your new car, mate. Living the high life now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I actually didn't have much of a say. So I went down to the car dealership to buy a RAV4. So I've been talking to a few of the boys. I'm like, hybrid, how good, long life.
Doing your thing
Save
for
the
the world.
environment.
Yep.
Yeah, save the environment, all that sort of stuff. And my partner, and traditionally early in our relationship, I probably had a lot of say over financial decisions because she was still at uni and, when you're in an early stage of relationship, but now it's...
Oh, the cards have been flipped, have they?
Well, now, yeah, I think that was a bit of the changing of the guard. So we walked in there and she made the decision and we rolled out with a little Merc. So, yeah. I mean, there wasn't that much of a difference in price, so it wasn't like I bowled out. It's only a small one.
Is it a good ride?
Yeah, it is good, but it'll probably end up being her car.
Smart from her.
Yeah, but that's all right.
That's like Lorna. We were driving. I've got the club, and thanks to our great sponsors, Audi. There's some
Yeah.
great Audis rolling around the football club, and
That's why I had to get the Merc just to fit in the Audi garage downstairs.
and Lorna was really keen on a RAV4, but now she's got her eyes on a Q model of an Audi. So these things happen.
They do.
Yeah.
Hey, Witho, thanks for coming back twice in the morning.
That's all right.
You guys got a bit on, flying out and all, so appreciate your time. Thanks very much to Tab Touch for being on board for another episode of Coast to Coast, and that'll do us. All the best. Bulldogs Sunday, boys.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much.
Go well.
Go on,
Cheers.
yeah.
He'll make it for sure. That's why I backed him on Tab Touch.
You got the touch. You got the power. Got the touch? Choose Tap Touch. Better your bet. Download the app today.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.